He stuffed a cloth strip into the gas tank with a wire, pulled it out soaked in gasoline, stuck a sticker over the tank opening, placed the strip on top, then lit it. He then limped into a pharmacy, and as soon as the sticker burned through, the gas tank exploded. Everyone's attention was drawn to the blast, while he calmly walked to an inner shelf and began choosing what he needed. Back at the motel, he laid out a plastic sheet, and enduring excruciating pain without a sound, finally took off his boots, already soaked with blood. Next, he would treat himself. He first numbed himself with lidocaine, then used sterilized tweezers to remove shrapnel from his flesh. He was a unique kind of killer, and what had reduced him to such a state was merely a black briefcase found in the wilderness. Days earlier, Nick had stumbled upon a shootout scene littered with bodies while hunting. He took a risk and went down, hoping to find something valuable. Deceased hunting dogs and bullet holes in car doors all spoke of the horrifying scene. To his surprise, someone was still alive in the pickup truck. Nick quickly raised his hunting rifle, but surprisingly, the person only asked him for a sip of water. But Nick had no water on him, so he took the person's weapon and left. He then went to check behind the truck, and unexpectedly found a whole truckload of goods. Since the goods were still in the truck, someone must have run off with the money, likely seriously injured. Sure enough, Nick soon spotted a figure under a large tree not far away, but Nick wasn't in a hurry to approach and check. Instead, he quietly stayed put, squatting for half an hour, and only after confirming the person showed no movement whatsoever, did he slowly dare to approach and check. Indeed, he found the person had stopped breathing. Seeing a black box next to the person, Nick curiously opened it to check, and unexpectedly discovered it contained $2 million. Although he realized the money might bring him disaster, there was no reason to refuse cash right in his hands. Without a second thought, he took the box and returned home. But when it was time to sleep that night, Nick constantly felt uneasy. So he specifically filled a kettle with water, and under the cover of night, hurried back to the shootout scene from earlier in the day, wanting to give some water to the person in the truck. But just as he pulled open the car door, he found that the person had been killed by someone else, which instantly made him realize something was wrong. He quickly scanned in all directions. The next second, he saw several figures appear near his car. Clearly, he had been exposed. Watching that group of people drive towards him, Nick immediately fled. But unfortunately, they were in a car and quickly caught up with him. Nick was shot and tumbled down to the riverbank. Before the people in the car could get to him, he submerged himself in the water and floated downstream with the current. The hunting dogs behind him relentlessly pursued him. Upon reaching the shore, Nick immediately pulled out his handgun, ejected the loaded bullet, blew the water out of the handgun, and killed the hunting dog at the last moment before it lunged at him. Nick checked into a motel with the box of cash. He specifically hid the box in the ventilation duct of room 137, then quietly restored the vent cover, while he himself checked into room 138 next door. Meanwhile, the killer Anton had already learned his identity through the license plate number, and using the tracker placed inside the box, quickly pinpointed the target to room 137. Anton directly took off his shoes and approached the target room, and without a word, opened the door lock with a blowtorch, then fired 2 shots at the person inside. But just then, another person suddenly appeared, but the next second, Anton shot him flying. At this moment, Anton suddenly saw a hand appear in the mirror. The person begged Anton to spare his life, but unexpectedly, Anton calmly drew the curtains to avoid getting his clothes dirty, and sent him off with a single shot. Although everyone in the room had been dealt with, Anton searched for a long time but could not find any trace of the box. Unbeknownst to him, the box had already been pulled into the next room by Nick via the ventilation duct, and Nick had escaped.